So what will happen to Richard Allen in prison? Now, going through everything that I've spoke on in the prior video, I could understand why a lot of people think that this piece of shit, demonic motherfucker, is innocent. However, as somebody that grew up in the system, has spent years behind that wall in confinement, has been in prison with Odinism, seen too much of the shit that he's seen, I just know from my personal journey, he's guilty. The reason being, let's touch base on the Odinism situation that has everybody confused. So Odinism is an old Scandinavian religion that, paganism, a lot of people use it, and they're not white supremacists or anything like that. They're just normal people that, want to go to their roots. Well, in prison, it's not like that. And I know they said the officers had it on their clothes, which is very normal. I've seen it so many times. Coming from South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, they looked at us like shit when we get sent up north to literally 1 hour away from Alabama in North Florida. They hated us. They called us Hollywood. They would throw us in confinement, torture us, have cell extractions. I mean, they would put us through hell. A lot of them were openly members of the Klan. You look up Lake Butler, 100%. Like, I think 30% of the officers got busted for being in the Klan. A lot of them are Odinists, and they rep it proudly. And their whole thing is they're separatists. That's their religion. That's their roots. And it's very common in prison. You see every type of religion, every type of faith used for good and also used for wicked shit. And in prison, the white boys say, hey, look, this is our shit and nobody else can have it. It's a separatist type of thing. It's done with all religions in prison. I've seen it done with Christianity, Judaism. I mean, it goes on and on. Anything you can think of is used for a really amazing thing and also used for a hustle, demonic shit. Separatism, a way for people to meet, to handle their business, people that are truly passionate about whatever racial cause they're on. And as someone in prison, I'm a Christian and I believe in what I believe. However, I don't get involved with that shit. None of that shit. I don't get involved with the gangs, the religious, the gambling, the drugs. But you know what's going on. You got to live here. You got to know who your enemies are. You got to know who you can have around you, who's doing what their missions really are. And one thing about Odinism is, yeah, they're down for their cause. They represent the white boys in prison and hate it, don't like it, whatever. That's a big part of prison. Separatists, being separated and having it like that. All races do it. I mean, a lot of races use religion as a form of being separated as far as this is who we are. This is ours. Nobody else can have it. Some people use it as ways to put into their gang signs, organization signs. It's whatever it could be. Some people really study it and become better people through it. However, they're claiming that a white nationalist group that uses Odinism would go and kill 2 innocent white girls that are part of a white supremacist movement and then frame a white guy. I'm not buying that shit. Now, isolation. Let's get into that. In isolation, I've been in there. I've had a cellmate. Shout out to Fort Lauderdale. Him and I did almost 7 months behind the wall together as cellmates. He was a Muslim from Fort Lauderdale. I mean, we literally had nothing in common. This dude, gold teeth to the max. I'm over here just a white dude from the suburbs. He's from the hood. But we became like brothers in there. And doing that much time in isolation, we used to see dudes break. Some already were broken. And for us, you either break or you don't break. But it's not something you can turn on and off. And for Richard Allen to get in there and to turn it on when the cameras are watching, eat shit, all that, I've seen many dudes do that. Wiping shit everywhere, going crazy, killing their bunkies, just losing their mind. But when they get out of confinement or whenever they got to do, they're not just back to normal unless they were being conniving to begin with and they were just trying to kill somebody, get at somebody back there, or they were trying to get off on a crime in prison or, something like that. Had to do a hit, whatever it might be, or they just had to get back there for whatever reasons. But you can't just turn that shit off. And if your whole thing is, I gave 60 confessions, I knew things about the crime, these people forced me to say this, and they're saying because I was in isolation so long, where do you think he would have went if he went to county jail? He would have been in isolation the whole time. It would have been no difference. And That's it. He would have been just as fucking crazy, right? Just losing his shit in county jail. Yeah, it's fucked up. They brought him to prison, but did you really look into why they did that? Everybody wanted to kill this man. Everybody. Child killers don't last too long in jail, in prison, and especially in these small towns in Indiana. I mean, this was a big deal. You killed 2 little girls. Clothes were taken off. It looked like someone was trying to sexually assault them and got scared and made a mistake. 100% these girls, somebody killed them and was trying to do some chomo activities, got scared. And that's exactly what Richard Allen said while he was in confinement to a psychiatrist in confinement in the prison. And you have to understand that they needed him to go to trial. They could not, a judge got off the case and he said, there's too much bloodlust. I can't work this case because whatever the outcome is, it's going to ruin my life in the community. It's going to ruin my career, everything. So that shows you how many people wanted him dead. And like I show you guys time and time again, people get hit up all the time, whether it's jail, prison, it makes no difference. The only thing for sure is he would have been in isolation, protective custody, housed by himself. He couldn't have had a cellie. So he would have been going through the same shit in jail. And why did you call the police to tell them you were there at this exact time? And then when they came to question you, you were like, nah, man, fuck that. Y'all ain't coming to my house. Now, the police did fuck up. And when he did tell them he was there, maybe he was pissed. Like, I already tried to help you guys. I could see that. However, we're talking about 2 little girls here. We're not talking about some shit that got stolen from a car or some shit. Why would you get mad? They showed that to the jury. They also showed the jury, the defense, look, he's eating shit. But how come he comes in here and he's so cool? He's so calm. Another thing, he didn't go on the stand. He had no criminal record because they didn't want to hear the voice match that recording. And certain words were said on the phone when he said 60 confessions. Certain words were said in that interrogation with the police when he snapped on them. Now, if you're in a small town, you admitted to it and say it was something petty, I get you'd be mad. But we're talking about you could help solve the murder, clear your name of 2 young girls, and you get mad about that. Now, you got to stand your ground. You go to confinement, you got to stand your ground. I don't give a fuck what type of pressure they're putting on you. I was in confinement a year back there. You seen dudes break, dudes fake, all that shit. But I never seen a dude just straight confess because he was in confinement. I've seen dudes go out of their mind. But you would never confess to killing 2 little girls and trying to rape them, essentially. I mean, what, he was in fear for his life? That doesn't make sense, though, because of this. He's going to be sentenced to life in prison, 130 years, which is essentially a life sentence for a 50-year-old. Wouldn't he know that he's going to get murdered, beat up, poisoned, everything you can imagine for what he did times 10 if he's convicted? Oh, he's afraid for his family from this Odinism organization. So his wife doesn't even show up, show any information that can corroborate this, nothing. Now, if this would have been of another race and you would have saw something with a white supremacist organization involved with it, yeah, I would say, yeah, there could be something up here. But their whole thing is, we're trying to separate. This is our people. This is us. This is us. It's not uncommon in prison to see that. What's uncommon is to know things about a murder of 2 little girls that nobody else knew. What's uncommon is to have a same bullet that is linked to your gun or what you bought, your ammo, in your house. What's very weird is that you wouldn't want to help clear your name and let those police right in your house and say, look, search my shit. I got nothing to hide. And I don't care how much you go through. You can't just confess to killing 2 girls because you're going crazy in isolation, eating shit, and then go to court and be completely normal. No, not to take the stand, never interrupt, no problems. Fuck that. I'm telling y'all, he's a guilty motherfucker. And killing 2 innocent girls like that, especially in Delphi and in that small town, he ain't gonna last too long. That guilt got to him. By him having a psychiatrist there, it showed that you had someone listening and watching. Them filming showed they had somebody watching. Now, don't get me wrong. I talk about people getting hit up all the time. However, they weren't trying to fuck this case up. It only took one little mistake in that jail, that prison, and he on video where they knew he was recording it, and that's it. The case would have been over. But he confessed 60 times to his wife. Knew stuff nobody else did. Fuck him. He gonna learn. Stay out. Stay free.